It is a big question, and I want to highlight, I guess, maybe one facet of this is the tension, I call it. I live in this, this dichotomy between happiness that a young woman can look at Christina and just physicalize her passion or her interest, or even if it's not something she wants to do, she can just be like girl power, and that's awesome. And that young brown boys and girls can look at me and go, hey, he looks like me and he's doing what? And that's great. I love that. But I also hope we are pushing the other direction, that one day we don't have to talk about these first, that one day this is just, and I listen to this, that this is the human history. It's about human history. It's the story of humanity, not black history, not women's history, but that it becomes human history.
Okay, so the whole point of this video is just to reflect on who Victor Glover is. He's one of the pilots that will be piloting the Artemis 2 around the moon. Um, and I just wanted to play that clip because it's very important what he said there. And the main topic behind this video is not lowering the standard. Not lowering the standard. Yes. Okay, so who is Victor Glover? He's an elite. Well, he's a captain in the Navy, elite military officer with thousands of flight hours. So what does that mean? Okay, so that means he's an O6, served in the Navy, takes many years and many flying hours to make captain, which means that he's also in charge of people and other pilots and other things that he has to do, which makes he's in leadership position. So that tells a lot more about him, because being in charge of people is one of the hardest things in the world. He's also, as you'll see in a later video, he's a test pilot. He's tested a lot of aircraft, and now he can add astronaut to his um, resume. Yes. Okay. And the breakdown behind this is to become all of that, to become a pilot, to become a Navy captain, the standard cannot be lowered, and it's not lowered, especially with a pilot, because being landing on an aircraft carrier is a very tough thing to do, also taking off, and it's also very dangerous. And also, as the pilot, you have your navigator in the back who has no controls of the pilot of the aircraft if something happens to the pilot. So he's also carrying somebody else's life with him. So that also makes him perfect for the mission with NASA, because as the pilot, he will be responsible for his life, but also the life of his crew. And what he said in that interview, that brief statement, this is human history, not black history, not women history, human history on this. Our society, I wouldn't say our entire society, it's a part of our society through the media that's always pushing the first this, the first that, the first this, the first that group of people. Like, it's surprising that people that look like this or come from this background could do that. But no, it's human. If you do not lower the standards, humans will push it. And if you give everybody the same chance, the same um possibility of achieving, not by lowering the standards when I say give people a chance, but you just, this is the standard, who's going to come it up, give it a try. And the people that make it, they keep pushing forward, and then you keep pushing until you end up with the top of the top of the top. And that's is what has made America great. Wait, one second.
You a little bit about how you're feeling in preparation for your very first time in space. What are the emotions going through your head, and how have your colleagues here, even on stage, helped kind of boost you up and prepare you for this trip?
Actually, I'm glad you said it that way. So to watch what they've done, I was very inspired. And again, that inspirational piece is a very important part of this. And so to see what they were doing and the inspiration that it gave me to pursue this career field, it's great to just sit up here with them and to commune with these veterans. And then just being assigned to my first mission, period, was amazing. And then to add to it, I'm a test pilot. In the Navy, I flew the Hornet and the Super Hornet and got to test out software and hardware. And so to fly a new spaceship is just, that also is a dream. And so to combine them, I kind of feel like I'm getting more than my fair share, you know? But it's awesome. Training for space is great. And flying on and off of a carrier is one of the most amazing things I've done in my professional life. So I really hope that launching into low Earth orbit, it beats that.
Ask you a little bit about how you're
Okay. Excellence, competency, and human potential. This is something that always needs to be pushed. So excellence, we should always push the highest standards in everything we do. During the 1940s, when World War II happens, this was something that was pushed, and America achieved a lot of stuff. Not just America, the world used to push this. The need for money has kind of hurt this. Like, if you look at a Toyota that was created in the 1970s and 1980s, it would run forever as long as you maintenance. But now it's been stated that not just with Toyotas, but with a lot of cars, they're made to break down. They're made to break down. They're not put to the highest standard, and it's showing. And that's why the car companies are in so much trouble. People don't believe in them no more. Incompetency. A lot of people, not just black people, but just people are being put in positions that they're not ready for. They're not competent for, and it shows. It shows, and that's why our society is downgrading a little bit. We have to push the best forward. And if it's a certain thing where the best people look a certain way, then those are the people that go forward. This is why I love sports so much, even though they're starting to mess with sports so much. Is the best athlete gets pushed forward. Some athletes are cheating with steroids now, but it's still, that's the goal. Okay, human potential. The only way humans society has evolved is how much is because it's been pushed to do so. It is stressful, but stress can sometimes be good as long as you're pushing a person through the stressful thing for a positive outcome, not just for money. A lot of people are pushed through stress through such as jobs just so their boss can make more money, not for a better outcome, a new product, or better production within the company. Standards don't hold people back, they lift people up. Okay. So I got an error here in the PowerPoint, but we're just going to keep going. When you raise the bar, people rise to meet it. When you lower the bar, you send a message. That message has damaged communities for generations. For examples, during segregation, Jim Crow within the African American community, and some other communities such as the Mexican community, Native American communities, but those people still achieved during that time. I even throw the Italians and Irish because sometimes they couldn't go places either, but they raised the bar to prove that they can also compete on the same levels because of the ideals thinking of humans thinking that these people were subpar. We prove that we can be. But when you lower the bar and people think, oh, this was easy. I used to think this is hard. No, it is very hard on this. People think that they don't value it. Lowering the bar, that's what it is. Lowering the bar devalues things. Harvard used to be a prestige school, and it really is on it, but Harvard actually has gone down a bit. One, because they lower standards, but two, they also lowered the standards of the education that they put out, the degrees that they had. Some of the degrees that Harvard gives out, your Harvard, Yale, all these Ivy League schools did not exist years ago. So you have people that are graduating from these schools and they can't get jobs. And that devalues Harvard because they lowered the bar not only of the people that they brought in, but for the education that they were given. They lowered the bar on their professors as well. A lot of people talk about lowering the bar on the students, but a lot of these colleges have lowered the bar on their professors and how they teach and what they teach. Some college degrees should actually just be elective, should be minors or just like a class that you take, and they turned them to degrees. So when the college student graduates, they think, yes, I graduated from Harvard. All these companies should want to hire me. But when the company sees what they studied, they don't hire. So their degree has been devalued. So lowering the bar devalues. That's what it does. And it harms communities and can harm for generations. Higher standards always win every time. Because when you complete something that's very hard, it builds up your confidence. It believes that you can do something else that is very hard. It creates trust too. A lot of times when African Americans achieve something, people will say, oh, that just filled a quota. A lot of times when a woman gets a position, people believe, oh, that person right there got that because that was a quota. She just filled a quota. It also creates opportunity. When people are pushed further than they thought possible, it creates more opportunities for them than they thought that they could have. When people feel as though they cannot do something, then their opportunities less because they won't even try. And it teaches not just one person, it affects a community where people don't believe that they can achieve certain things. Like you hear people all the time, oh, I'm bad at math. No, you just haven't done math. Mathematics is a very tricky thing. A lot of people think they can't do it, but it's also how it is taught. Math can be taught many different ways, and people think that if they don't know it the way that professor is shooting, oh, I don't know math. No, you don't know the way that person teaches it. Such as today, if I went to school in the 90s. So if I look at the way math was now, today's math is taught differently. So if I was to do math in the way that the teachers in high school and college teach it now, I would not do good. But if I was taught the way they did it back in the 90s and early 2000s, I would do great on it. But people need to believe in themselves and know that they can do it if they just push their thinking past something, which creates opportunity. I hope that made sense. Okay. But the biggest thing, lowering the standards backfires, and it has backfired a lot in America. It does not create equal. It does not create equal opportunity. It creates doubt. Doubt in the people that see that person in that position, and also it creates doubt in the person that's in that position. Are they really qualified? And also it creates a ceiling. When expectation drop, performance drops. When schools remove advanced classes, high performance students lose the opportunities they deserve. And that goes back to what I was talking about with opportunities. When they had what is it called, CPA, math, it was advanced math. They had all them advanced classes. Students that were very smart and showed very excellence, they went into all the advanced courses. So when they graduated, when they went to college, they were ready. But if you remove the advanced courses, then those students, they don't get the opportunity to learn that advanced course when they were already ready to do it. And they lowered the standards to help the kids in the school that were not on those other people's level. So to make those other people feel better and feel like they're high quality, they hurt the higher advanced students. So that's how lowering the standards drops performance and it hurts people. That also goes into play when you're employing people at jobs, because you get a lot of people in jobs that don't know what they're doing. I can see if they're new to the job, everybody has a learning curve when you come to the job. But after you got been there for a while, you should be able to pick it up. And that's something else. The job needs to have an expectation when they bring people on board. This is a standard we need you to meet. If you don't, you're gone. And there's nothing wrong with that because you also hurting that person that's trying to perform that role when they should just be in a different role. And that's why I say also with lowering the standards doesn't not only hurt the student, the employee, it hurts the employer or the leader in that position. Because when you force a leader, you have to keep a person in this position instead of telling that leader, okay, this person is not meeting this position. Can we put them in another spot here do you think they would be better at this position? Which some great leaders can see that, okay, this person here is working in our management, our office, they're not doing too good. However, we're going to put them on the floor, start them out at entry level, and then have him work his way up. And they do that, and that person does great. And they actually like it more than they did working in the office. They're on the plant floor right now doing a great job. And where they should have been, they were just in the wrong position. There's just nothing wrong with that. Yeah, and it goes back to what I said earlier. History already taught us this. Back during segregation, African Americans had underfunded schools, and they did not lower the expectation of African Americans when they graduated in certain roles. In certain roles they did, and some they didn't, such as in medical school. We had the segregated colleges, the HBCUs, and those colleges did not lower the standards because they wanted to meet the same standards that all the other colleges did. Even because they were HBCU, they did not see that it was okay for them to lower their standards. And they met them. And it wasn't until years later, after the Civil Rights Unit and all these quotas started, they thought that they were building the Great Society, but they actually hurt society. And that's why you saw the decline in the HBCUs, but we can bring it back up. And that goes for women as well. A lot of women do not go into engineering. They're pushing more into STEM now because they're told, no, you can't do this, you're a woman. Even other women tell them that math is too hard, women don't do that. But that is starting to change right now because women have proven that. And as this quote says, people rise when you expect them to rise. And Victor Glover is the proof. No reason to continue to beat that. I mean, him going from just to be a pilot, period, is hard. And now he's actually in space right now. That just proves it right there. Okay, so the real meaning of equality. Standards don't limit people, they reveal greatness. And when we hold everyone to the same bar, we discover just how high humanity can climb. And that's with everything from going from no telephone to the radio to the landline, cable line phones to now we use cell phones. With our technology, we keep pushing the standard of being better, but we also need to do that with people as well. Again, and in technology, we're pushing a standard, but in people, we need to do the same thing. Such as right now, I got I don't have one, but we got the iPhone 18 that's out. With our education system, we're still working with an iPhone 1. That is why that's holding America back right there. We have not upgraded. Okay, one last video, Victor.
I didn't originally want to be a pilot. I wanted to go to BUD/S. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And so my dad was actually pretty influential. He suggested that I consider flying. He said, hey, with an engineering degree and being a Navy pilot, you might become an astronaut one day. So, thanks, Dad. I am NASA astronaut Captain Victor Glover, and I've been in the Navy for 27 years. And for the last almost 12 years, I've been stationed at NASA as an astronaut. And now I'm assigned to be the pilot of Artemis II, our first mission back to the moon in over 50 years. The parallels between sailors and astronauts are, well, first of all, in the word, astronaut actually means star sailor. My Navy experience was pivotal in getting this job. I mean, the skills that I gained from the Navy, being a naval aviator, being a part of teams, working with international partners and in challenging places in isolated and very extreme environments, all of those skills transfer to flying a spaceship. And so I think the Navy was excellent preparation. Piloting Artemis II You'll have to ask me after we get back, because we're the first crew to fly Orion, and so we're figuring it out. So some of this, it doesn't really exist. There is no checklist. We're going to go out with a plan, but then, you know, they say no plan survives first contact. We're going to go out there and do the operation, and then we're going to come back, and we're really going to be able to give the next crew insight into how it was different from what we thought we were going to do. I'm really excited about that, actually. I love that we call great things that humans do moonshots. I love that. And I guess one of the first things that it means to me personally is our generation gets to have our own moonshots, not just referencing back to what we did in the 60s and 70s, but now we get to have our own that we can remember, that we heard, that we smelled, that we felt ourselves. And our generation gets to say we were capable of doing that great thing together as well. When we go around the backside of the moon, we're going to lose communications with Earth, the International Space Station, our friends, our family, everybody, for about 45 minutes. I would love it if we could all agree for that time, let's just be humans. Could we just have, when something important happens or when we lose a loved one, we usually do something called a moment of silence. We will actually be in radio silence because we can't talk to Earth. I'm challenging all of us to think more about unity, right? There's so much division. Humans can do anything for 45 minutes. Let's just all be humans and have a moment of silence together. I didn't originally want to be a pilot.